It's good to spend quality time together and not dead time together. If you meet for a reason in an elevated way, and you don't just meet, the one's brushing the teeth, the other one's rushing, good morning, good morning, it flattens the relationship. So try not to spend flat time together, spend flat time alone, and when you meet in such a good way.
It is not recommended to masturbate as in doing it for the pleasure, which is usually the point of it, right? So that's not so much recommended because, well, by now we have some research around this as well, especially people researching on porn addiction. That has become sort of a thing, and it has shown that as much as, everything in measure can sort of work, but it will create tendencies inside of you that might be difficult to recuperate from later on. It is recommended, though, to, for example, prepare your wonderful, beautiful genitals, your lingam and your yoni, for whatever amazing, beautiful lover might come along later on. So you might want to do, for example, yoni massage in order to release maybe past trauma or, painful spots or something like that. You might want to caress your body all over to awaken the nadis, to awaken the energy channels. You might want to do certain exercises, so-called sexercises, they should be called Eros exercises, in order to awaken your energetic structure. All of that is very beautiful and very much recommended to do, which has a very different flavor than masturbating, because, I want to masturbate because I need to get it out of my system. That wouldn't be so much the tantric style. And yes, it is particularly for women, but actually, no, cross that. Wrong. For everybody. It is much harder to control the energy in masturbation, and it is much, much easier to create an erotic experience if you are with your beloved, and having all that love and that presence towards one another usually gives already a bit of a kickstarter to uplift, and already gives some, let's say, even choices that you sort of make just because you love. You can't help but choose to uplift some of the energies inside of you. Just because the eyes of your lover are so beautiful, you just get very transfigured, and already some energy uplifts, and you can sort of not even help it so much. So it is much easier to have an erotic experience in a couple together. Please follow our series of Eros lectures, because that's exactly what this is about. So now already you got 2 tips. One of them, the gift of Shakti. Please go to our YouTube channel, find the lectures that we are posting there, and this one will be posted soon. And today we learned about the difference of flow, the automatized flow versus the conscious flow. And as we go, series style, we will reveal many more practical aspects to consider this. So I will forward this to my future self and Uriel's future self.
You can keep or even rise the intensity. High energies here, as I understand it, is a certain high polarity, a certain intensity which characterizes relationships normally in their beginning, but it can be nourished. And this erotic practice, what we discovered now, what we shared now, is the best of tools. Also, it helps this all the tips of polarity. It's good to spend quality time together and not dead time together. If you are looking at your phone and he is looking at his phone, and you are looking at 2 different things in the phone, and you spend hours like that together, it will make your relationship flat. But if you meet for a reason, in an elevated way, and you don't just meet, the one's brushing the teeth, the other one's rushing, good morning, it flattens the relationship. So try not to spend flat time together, spend flat time alone, and when you meet in such a good way. Now, the intensity will not come from pressure, but from a beautiful flow. You can be attentive, for example, when you miss each other. When you start to miss your lover, before you call, before you send a message, sit and feel the longing. That creates intensity. Take 2 minutes, 3 minutes. What I do sometimes to be aware, I take my phone and I record. Oh, I really miss Blandine. I saw her an hour ago. How come I miss her? Oh, I really miss her. I feel this buzz in my heart. I feel a little drunk. I feel my chest expanding. I really want to see her. And I do that before and then when I come to see her and I'm aware that I miss her, it's not like, hey, I miss you. You come over? Come over. Yeah. No, 2-3 minutes, I miss her. And then when I see her, I'm very excited, even if I just saw her an hour ago. So to be conscious of the longing makes a huge difference. And you don't need to be afraid of the intensity. It's very good. You keep a very intense polarity, and inside this calm and embracing, loving Eros, you will have a great, nourishing intensity in the relationship.
I just want to add to this last question that there is a difference between staying high energy, like Uriel said, being polarized, and connecting all the time. So I hope it became very clear from his answer that there is this difference, and that maybe you might want to talk a bit to your beloved to understand that somehow, as Uriel described, the polarity, the attraction between the two of you, the intensity, the high energy, is built also by having space, by finding the right rhythm. Our teacher says so beautifully that the art of polarizing, the art of keeping up the attraction, is the art of knowing when to be together and when to be apart. And many couples have A, different opinions about this, and B, not such a good sense of what is the rhythm of the couple. They rather consider their own rhythm. Oh no, but I want space. Oh no, but I want to be together. The tantric couple will aim to step out of this sort of specific wants, and now I need some strokes for my ego of feeling appreciated and wanted and so forth. That is not so important. It is much more important to give to the couple what is healthy and good for the couple, and that might more often times than not be to spend some time apart and to repolarize, and then to spend, as Uriel put it already so beautifully, this wonderful quality time together and all the wonderful things that he said. But to consider that there's a difference, because it seemed a bit in the question that you asked that there's it's maybe not so clear to your beloved that there's a difference between the two. Please subscribe and give us a like for this video, and hit the bell for notifications, and leave us a comment below and tell us what you think about the subject. First things first, I must tell you as a psychologist, you cannot just make yourself feel a certain way. Start with dealing with how you feel. And then from how you feel, you become aware, then you can make choices, you can attune to other things and so forth. But oftentimes we have this go-to thing of, how can I make myself feel different? How can I fall out of love? How can I suppress this impulse? Don't. Become acceptant towards what you feel. That is the first thing. Right now, you don't feel so erotic with your beloved. Okay. Accept that, understand, and I see from your question that you do understand that there's reasons to that. You're having a life that has stresses to it, that has responsibilities to it. So first thing that you want to look at is, okay, how can I deal with that? How can I take good care of myself? How can I make sure that throughout the day I maybe reduce that stress by, for example, applying an attitude of karma yoga, or applying an overall tantric attitude. If you want to know more what that is, just join our tantra course. And observe what tools, what methods that you know can you use in order to, first of all, take care of the aspects that make you have a lower desire, lower wish to be together. So once you take care of that, you de-stress, you decompress, you have some time to yourself, you can spend time to build your own pole, feeling very feminine if you are a woman, feeling very masculine if you are a man, and so forth, feeling very attuned to your soul, whatever gender you are, feeling very centered in your own identity and identity in the deeper sense, and how you feel truthfully about yourself and so forth. All of these need to be taken care of. And once you are in a place where you are really taking into consideration what you need and what makes you feel to even be in a place of sharing yourself erotically, then we can speak about the couple and how to deal with things there. Of course, if you are sharing a home and you have children, polarity will always suffer a little bit, because there's a good amount of time throughout the day that you need to spend together that is not filled with rose petals and super romanticism and high intensity. High intensity, yes, but because you're dealing with a screaming child, which is a different type of intensity that not necessarily makes you want to drop your pants. So consider that you might need to make an extra effort to repolarize within your couple in maybe different ways than other people can. So maybe you can just even push your beds apart a little bit, sleep in different rooms if that is possible. Spend time apart throughout the day in the way that is reasonable and possible. Arranging that each of you has a day to themselves in the week where you can just breathe and just readjust to who you are in the depths of your being, stuff like that. Find creative ways to repolarize, even if you stay in the same home and even if things are charged and challenging. You can always make conscious choices to add more polarity. Find out what are the needs of the two of you. What are your erotic needs? What are your romantic needs? If you have children, you might need to make dates at home while the children are asleep, and then make that date a good date, not just sort of hanging out and just being smashed after the day, but at least sharing some wonderful moments from the soul, having at least light a candle while you talk and so forth. What you can do it. Because most often what happens is that we're just like, okay, I can't be bothered, let's just forget about it. Do what you can do, and with that you will have a good result. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.